they are going to look for. And so you want to gain that trust and start to gain that personal contact with your patients. And the best way to do that is rather simple. You don't have to do a lot of talking, and if you do too much talking, you wind up being perceived as being talked, your patients are, you're talking at your patients. You want to talk with your patients. And if you do that effectively, your patients will tell you what they need, and then you can reach into your expertise and determine how to most effectively and in the best way meet those needs. So that is why you want to, you simply want to open up dialogue and have your patients tell you where it hurts. It's the old adage.
And part of that comes from having quality client, patient and client onboarding processes, so that as you're developing that strong patient and practitioner relationship, you're allowing that patient to tell you, let them tell you their story, their own personal journey. And this is something that I shared yesterday, that a clipboard doesn't capture that story. It doesn't capture that journey. So allowing the patient to have that quality time with you so that they can share with you that journey is clear. And you're going to, through listening to your patients, have a higher, stronger, more impactful marketing message just by listening to them.
Yes. And so rather than passing a clipboard to them out in the waiting room and just expecting them to fill in the blanks, oftentimes it's better to take that extra few minutes to have you fill out the form by asking those questions personally,
Right.
them, and having them answer them. Just that exercise alone can start to open up that dialogue and get them to talk to you in a free manner.
And while they're talking to you, that goes into our next question. Why parse your patient base into specific target categories? While you're allowing them, you're allowing them to share their journey with you, why are you also at the same time parsing that patient base into specific target categories?
What I have found over the years in helping many, many different healthcare practitioners to develop their patient base, when you start to ask that where does it hurt question, you of course start to see a pattern.
Right.
You have patients that start to have common issues, common problems, if you will, common questions and concerns. And so as you determine what those particular patient needs are and what those particular concerns are, answering those patients with those certain concerns and problems, those patients become able to be grouped into specific market categories. And so that is the reason for parsing out your markets, is to enable you to be able to find out specifically what your most pressing questions are out there, what your biggest marketing opportunities are out there for your practice, and how you can go out there and start to become a specific subject matter expert in those particular areas.
Yeah, otherwise, and again, I think that's important because it's not a one size fits all type of
Not
healthcare
at all.
practice that you want to have. That's not what you're going after. Your marketing message, when you parse it out, your marketing message should be clear enough that this is the one problem that I solve for this audience, And this is the way they used to feel when the problem existed. And now this is the healthy way they feel. This is the well-being that they feel after working with me. Again, turning that message around so that health and wellness and the concept of health is focused on primarily. But you got to get clear on what is it that you're solving, and by parsing you're able to get clarity on that.
And one more thing about parsing, what you also have to realize too, you are not the only practitioner in your town. Chances are that does what you do.
Yeah.
So the question that a potential patient that doesn't know you is asking is, why should I go to you as opposed to someone else who does the same medical or holistic function that you do? If you become a subject matter expert and people start to recognize you as a subject matter expert, they are much more likely to go to you because of opening up dialogues, as we have been talking about, and seeing that they can trust you, and above all, seeing that you will solve their problem, medical issue, medical concern, better than anyone else will out there.
And that's exactly why you and I have worked together so long, because we think the same way. My God, you know what?
That's
Come to
true.
think of it, how long have we worked together, Lynn? Was it over 10 years now?
It has been over 10 years.
And that's exactly what you just said, is exactly why we both do what we do, which is, let's get to the core of what your message is, become the the subject matter expert. And then once that is done, it is so much easier to find your audience and to niche. And I understand for many practitioners that, niching down to a specific subject, to a specific category, seems completely uncomfortable. But that is exactly where some of the most successful virtual practices have gone in order to have a thriving virtual practice online.
Well, and
They
I will add, it depends on the size
Sure.
and the importance of and the prevalence of the problem that you are solving. If it is a very substantial and there are a lot of patients out there, a lot of people who want that problem solved, then one area of subject matter expertise can be effective, or you can have a lot of smaller areas of subject matter expertise. So it's a matter of taking a look at your particular patient base in your particular town to see exactly how your patient base sits and what their specific needs are, and how to solve those problems better than any other practitioner does.
better than any, and that's on day one of our masterclass. I just want to recap a little bit for some of the attendees who may not have been with us from the beginning. And all of these recordings are in our private Facebook group called the Thriving Practice Sisterhood. But on day one of our masterclass, Dr. Marcy helped us focus on physician self-care so that we have the stamina to participate as being subject matter experts in this, what I call the healthcare renaissance. All right. So we have the stamina, we have the strength to participate as subject matter experts. We need our self-care in order to do that. Day two, PhD scholar and grief counselor Janelle Chase from Barbados discussed the importance of having a vision that allows you to pivot towards a hybrid or a trauma-informed virtual practice that really enhances the well-being of individuals by providing an array of comprehensive behavioral and physical health services in a trauma-informed environment. But also it promotes a quality of life, continuous improvement, social awareness, and healing in different subject matter categories. Day 3, yesterday was day 3. We discussed the importance of leveraging a team to help you lead and manage subject matters in your virtual practice. And this will help take the burden and the exhaustion of office administration that is on many practitioners' plates right now. But today, day 4, when you begin to embrace becoming a subject matter expert, you're taking a step towards standing out from the CVS Minute Clinics, the Walmart Wellness Hubs, the Walgreens Village MD centers. A matter of fact, in the December issue of JAMA, it talked about it talked about the erosion of trust in our health and wellness field. And I believe it said that it was in the 1960s. It said that 78% of Americans in the 60s had a deep sense of trust with their physicians, where now it's somewhere in the 30% range. And this is why you have all of these generic vanilla retail entities popping up where CVS, Walmart, Walgreens are all saying primary care. Oh yeah, we can do that. We can do
I
that.
mean, if you ask me, my kitty cat ran across my computer a few minutes ago, so you can tell I'm an animal person. And in so many respects, these generic health entities that have been coming up, that have been popping up everywhere, it gets to the point where I start to wonder if my animals have better continuity of care than most people do.
Right.
Running around and they're not forming those lasting trusted relationships with their healthcare practitioners that they need as people go through their life, and as they age, they get to various stages of their lives. Issues come up, and when we have those issues in front of us, we need help. We need it now. And we need to have that go-to healthcare practitioner that we have trusted for years, to go to take the problem to, and to put that issue in the rear view mirror.
And that's why, as a subject matter expert, your main marketing message that is focused on health and the feelings of health needs to be cemented in the fact that your patients, your clients can trust you because you do have continuity of care, and that you are in a relationship with them for the long haul. You are there with them, because that long-term relationship is not the message that you're seeing from CVS and Walgreens and Walmart. A matter of fact, retail store spinoff of medical care clinics really seemed primed for higher medical staff turnover than traditional medicine. And they know that. That's why the long-term relationship building message isn't anywhere to be found in these entities.
Think about it this way. The Minute Clinic at CVS, if maybe I've eaten a funky peanut butter sandwich and I'm breaking out in 98 different shades of hives, and I've got to figure out what to do like now, probably an okay place to go. But we realize that those minute clinics are set up as as an adjunct to retail stores.
Right.
And so they are in the business to sell people things, sell people that cough syrup on aisle 12, if you will.
Transactional medicine.
Yep. You're going back to the transactional model, that cold, hard, uncaring transactional model. And they are not, patients are not going to the minute clinic for subject matter expertise.
No, they are not.
Going to the minute clinic to see which brand of cough syrup in the aisle down the way there they should buy, and if CVS has it.
Right.
Who knows if that cough syrup really is the best, but it's what's being carried, so go ahead and go and get it. They're not getting at the root of their healthcare needs. They are not getting true medical care, let's face it.
And their marketing doesn't focus on what it means to be healthy and what it means to heal. They don't do that. It's not, and furthermore, caring for one's personal health in the form of commoditizing healthcare convenience in lieu of a long-term patient-physician relationship, it may fill in the gaps until someone gets really, really sick. And I get it that some people may not have the economic choice of how they receive healthcare. They may not have the underlying knowledge of what health and the concept of healing is supposed to look like. They may not have that. So I would say that, it's been interesting for me to see if the retail mindset can transition from being a retailer selling stuff to caring for the health and lives of many, many people in urban areas. I'd like to see who's actually going to drop in these in-store clinics and trust their health to retailers that have turned into healthcare providers. I mean, who is doing that right now? Because from the statistics, it shows that these clinics are widely accepted in cities, but the more rural you get, the more suburban and the more rural you get, the trust factor goes downhill. However, trust, as I just pointed out, trust in healthcare has been eroding for years, because people are looking for that practitioner long-term relationship with a subject matter expert. They're not looking for another health coach that treats them like the Minute Clinic. They're not looking for another virtual practice online.
A market situation where people don't know that is still possible.
Thank you. That's exactly it. They don't know it's still possible.
People saw it to know, and older people think, well, that's just the way things are. And so if you go out there is your marketing niche to jump into with transitioning your practice into telehealth, realizing that we have come full circle. We now have a new way to make house calls, and you're seeing it right now where we're making a house call and you have it in your hands or on your lap or on your desk. The way to create and show the possibilities that are out there, that people can realize that you have taken the time to put together material that is specifically tailored to their needs, and that you have expertise that is specifically tailored to their needs to solve their health issues much better than just going down to the generic minute clinic and hoping for the best.
Right. Right, exactly. And and that reminds me of a client that we had recently, and they had um they had hired a practice consultant to transition into a hybrid, and then parts of their expertise into a virtual practice, and it was failing. They were focused primarily on women's health, but when I looked at their marketing messaging, and I was looking for several things, and several of them we just talked about. I was looking at, did their marketing message build trust? Did their marketing message explain the concept of healing? Did their marketing message explain what true health is, so that patient practitioner relationship is built? It didn't do that. What was failing in their marketing message was the fact that when I looked at their virtual practice marketing information, their programs were not customized. Their knowledge that they were sharing online was very vanilla, very generic. Actually, I really I couldn't tell the difference. And I'm being honest with you, I couldn't tell the difference between what they were sharing online and what the women's services section that CVS Minute Clinic had. Anything from
You do not want to be WebMD or Google or Google Medical.
or
No.
Google Medical. I could not see the difference at all. And
Who
that
are
was
you?
that.
Why are you special as a patient? Why should somebody go to you as opposed to the practitioner down the street that is in the same field of expertise?
Well,
They
right, exactly. Because if when you're
that
starting
other
to.
practitioner.
Right. Right. And so that leads me into my next question is why match your subject matter expertise to specific patient targets rather than taking a broad-based approach? Because that's exactly what was happening in this women's healthcare virtual practice. Their approach was far too broad, and it mimicked exactly what I would read online from Village MD, the Walmart Wellness Hub, or even CVS's Minute Clinic. So I want to hear your perspective on that.
If you create individual strategies to solve individual problems for groups of patients, you get more mileage out of your subject matter areas of expertise than if you just go out there and take that shotgun approach, because you are being seen as the subject matter expertise for each of these groups, and each of these groups can see how you fit into their healthcare journey, their specific healthcare needs, and how you are going to help them. People can read information and digest information, but the important thing is that the technical term is actually called assimilation of information. What that means is that you are taking that information and digesting it and seeing specifically how that information is going to work for you. How are you going to be helped? How is that individual patient going to be moved on in the course of their healthcare journey? You want them to very easily and very conveniently see how you are a part and should be a part of their specific healthcare journey, not just disseminating information that we already know, that we
Right.
pull up on WebMD.
Right. Well, yeah. And I think that's important. By the time we changed, or by the time we turned their virtual practice message around, that virtual practice message was rooted in trust. So we were upfront in our messaging, letting their patients know that this women's healthcare practice is not bound by insurance companies. They're not bound by mega hospital system or third parties of any kind whatsoever. That they
Or
have
pharmaceutical rep sales,
what's that?
or pharmaceutical rep sales.
Right, right. The message that we built for the female for the women's care practice was exactly that, that there are no third parties that we're bound to within your best interests are what we're focused on here.
There are only two
We
parties,
also in our
only
messaging
two
shared
parties in
that,
good medical care.
what's that?
Only two parties in good medical care, and that is the medical practitioner and the
and
patient.
and the patient and the patient. We were also upfront in our messaging, letting them know about what their total monthly healthcare expenses are. And we actually built them a membership model for their virtual practice. So we were absolutely upfront. This is what it's going to cost you. We treat these conditions. We are subject matters experts on these conditions. And here is our medical approach. So we did a couple things with that. We developed trust again. We built trust again. All right. And we know that because the targeting was on point for social media. The phone started ringing again. The appointment books started getting scheduled again. We were very clear on what healing looks like and what the concept of health looks like. That's what we focused in on.
And that's really what you need to focus in on. And those are the components of connecting with your patients.
Right. Right. Now, why match your subject matter and your practice matter to your target patient categories? Why do that? That was the next question that came in here.
You want to create a practice-wide strategy for treating and giving the best care that you possibly can to your various patient, I will call them patient needs groups. So it's not just a matter of saying, oh, well, we'll say such and such to everybody. No, it's a matter of saying patient needs group A, patient needs group B, patient needs group C. They all have a specific protocol order, if you will, that they're more than likely going to need care. And so taking that specific protocol order into account, you can work that in your office protocol in with your marketing functions and your marketing actions for your practice to create those individual strategies that are going to give the best and highest care to your various patient needs groups.
Yeah. Yeah. And that really segues into why even create individual strategies for each patient target category then? Why even do that?
Healthcare practice is not a one size fits all.
No, it's not. And you know what?
Different patient needs groups, and needs are different for people in different parts of the country.
Right.
Take Los Angeles and Southern California, Kim, compared to Michigan. I grew up in Michigan. We are not dealing in Southern California with treating patients that get sick when it's 20 below on those days that the Arctic opens up and you guys get hit with it.
Right.
Conversely, here in Los Angeles, last year we had some 118-degree values in parts of Los Angeles. And so you have a whole different ball game and a whole different way that you are needing to treat patients when it's that hot out. So heat, cold, we have, just various needs and various various diversity and demographic groups in the country, and everybody's needs. We need to pay attention to meeting the needs of our immediate patients, not
Right.
patient in the world, our patients. And patients can feel that energy when you are doing that. They can tell that you really care. They can tell that you really want to make that connection, and that you really have their healthcare interests in mind. People don't want just anyone taking care of their health needs. They want to feel that that practitioner that's taking care of them really cares and really has their best interests in mind.
You know,
So
and the
just
pill, that pill for every ill approach, you know,
there's
that,
no pill for every ill, and we all know it.
you know, it's disappointing and it's frustrating and it feels outdated because it is outdated. You
It
know,
never should have been in the first place, Kim.
right. I agree with you. Really, really. And that's another thing that that we're clear on in our virtual practice messaging. We're clear on the cost, but you know, we're also clear in our messaging about what the outdated healthcare system has done for us, or has left us with: huge premiums, lack of pricing transparency, you know, continuous medical bills if you get sick. And what we have done in the marketing anatomy of a good virtual practice message is build trust. We are transparent. We let them know this is the physician, this is the practitioner, this is the healer, this is the wellness coach that you're going to be working with, and they have their back because she really does. She really does. And that trusting, lasting subject matter expert, and you just added geography, because
Yes.
because we have also found with our clients, when when we're rebuilding their marketing message, it's going to be a different message depending on where you're targeting in the US. For example, you know, Facebook social media marketing, you can target all of the US, but you will notice when working with a professional, and we can show you as to why certain regions of the US resonate with you as a subject matter expert, and why some other regions are look at you like, what are you trying to tell me? I don't get it. It's the geography, and you just pointed that out.
Well, and not only that, as lady practitioners, we know that the mothers of the world are the ones that really enact and embrace change,
Yeah.
and change and improvement. And right now, with the pandemic and getting over the pandemic, and now we're a year out, and we're starting to ask, how are we going to move forward? Where are we going to go? It is really in your hands as female practitioners to correct what has been created from the get-go that was wrong, and continues to be wrong.
Right.
Change that face of healthcare to make it more emphatic and more caring,
Yeah.
and something that patients can be excited about instead of dreading.
Right. You know, and that's where, when you have a virtual practice that has a marketing message built on the concept of healing, the concept of health, where the patient's best interests are always kept top of mind, you're also going to be sending a message that you are a healer, a physician, a practitioner, that is your healthcare guru, your guide, your advocate, your champion, your scout, your Sherpa. They are committed to getting you the answers you need, not Google, not any of the online forums, that you are the subject matter expert that knows the healthcare system inside and out and knows how to get them turned around to feeling healthy again.
And you
You're the
hold it,
Sherpa.
you hold it in your power, and you hold it within the expertise of your individual practice to be that point of light that is going to be one of many points of lights to change that face of healthcare.
And so with this type of messaging, that's why tomorrow we're going to go into having customized programs that offer a concierge type of service. And that's what we're going to talk about tomorrow. And I am looking forward to that, about how you can build a virtual practice that has a concierge approach to customized wellness, where you're building trust, you're emphasizing the concept of healing and what true health looks like. Thank you, Lynn,
Right?
so
Oh, you're
much for
very
sharing
welcome.
this wonderful information.
Looking
Before I
forward to
go,
tomorrow.
I want to announce that I'm offering a 60-minute complimentary strategy session for serious practitioners who want to move forward a little quicker when it comes to getting more clients and building their virtual practice. Basically, what happens is my secretary schedules time for us to go to go on a meeting on Zoom and get an opportunity to know each other. I get a chance to listen to your journey and review your practice goals and offer solutions. And I'm offering that to every female practitioner because you deserve to have the guidance that Lynn and I just talked about. Now, I want to post a question in our Thriving Practice Sisterhood Facebook group so that I can get some feedback from our participants. You're going to see a masterclass journal prompt that says, if you were to describe your healthcare specialty in just one word, what would it be? Again, it's going to
Always
say,
good.
if you were to describe your healthcare specialty in just one word, what would it be? And so look for hashtag day 4. It's just going to say hashtag day 4. And after reading what other sisters share, you might get inspired to take action towards your own health and wellness messaging, especially after listening to this webcast. So I look forward to seeing everyone tomorrow. Take care, sisters. I love you. And just remember that we're in this together. We're in this message together. But I'm looking forward to seeing you tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. Take care, everyone.
Thank you. Be
Bye,
safe.
Lynn. Take care. Be safe and well.